Hi, it's Cheryl. Welcome to Homeridge Studio. This video is part of the Just Our Imagination Challenge, which takes place the second Sunday of every month. We're given 3 items to create something cool with, and the challenge items for this month are a placemat, tumbling tower blocks, also known as Jenga blocks, and some flip-flops. So let's get right into the video and see what I created. Okay, so this is a wall hanger, and I have the placemat and the charger from the Dollar Tree. I have this I don't know what it is, piece from Hobby Lobby. Got it on clearance for $2. I have some flowers, and I have the tubular mesh, all from the Dollar Tree. So I took a bowl out of my cupboard, and it was about the center of the charger, the same size, slightly bigger, but I took it and I made a circle around the silverware and the word appetit and the other word bon. I wish it was backwards because I'm going to have to piece this together, but I wanted those words on there. And now I'm just going to glue it on the charger. It sits right on top there. I didn't push it in because, then I would lose the words. And so I just put a strip of hot glue around the edge. I got a little bit on the side there, and when I went to pull it up, do you see? I pulled up part of the charger. I mean, the peels right off. The finish does. So I just glued it back on. Anyway, I just wanted you guys to know that. And so now I'm just taking these, the words that remained on the leftover placemat, and I'm just cutting them down really small and like rounding the edges off. And now I'm just going to glue them. So bon appetit on one side, bon appetit on the other side. And I know it's raised and you can see it, but I kind of hide it with the decoration. So just trust me, you'll see what I do on this. And by the way, bon appetit means good appetite, and it also means enjoy your meal, if you didn't know that. But I guess you could probably have guessed that. So now I have this tubular mesh, and I'm just going to put one ring around the center part here. And why the tubular mesh and not a rope? Because I thought maybe the rope would probably look better, because I have a ton of this stuff and I just wanted to use it, and it pretty much looks the same, I think. It's just that when you use this with hot glue, now I have a very thin hot glue gun with a very thin tip. This stuff will melt, and the placemat could melt too. So if you have a low heat or a smaller tipped hot glue gun, I would use that and not, one with a thicker tip. So I'm trying to, I thought it needed one more circle around here, and if I did put it on the outside, it wouldn't look right. And I wanted to hide the ugliness of the inner side, because you could kind of still see, where I cut it and where it was glued. I just put like one on top, and then took the ends, clipped them off, took the ends and put them underneath the first mesh tube. And then I'm doing it on the bottom. I mean, I hope that makes sense. I know you can see what I'm doing it here. But I obviously didn't want to hide the bon appetit words. And I thought it just gave it, I don't know, some interest, something different. And now this piece from Hobby Lobby, I'm just going to pull it apart. I'm going to use every single last piece of this on this wall hanger. So I just glued the eat up on top, and then I had the beads from there, and I glued a bead on each side, and then I glued a bead in between E and A and T. So I used all of the beads. And then I have the tassel from the bottom. I'm just going to put it on the back and on the bottom in the center. I'm going to throw some masking tape on there to reinforce it. And then when I said I used every piece of this, I did. Here's the hanger, and I used that too. I just used it for a hanger. So I just glued that on the top and reinforced that with some masking tape too, and voila. But we're not done yet. We have a couple more pieces to add to it. So I just put some flowers from this pick I had in my stash, and a couple here, a couple there, and a couple leaves, and that is it. This was simple. Just it's so easy to make and budget friendly, and I really like it. Let me know what you think about it. Okay, so a little more about this challenge. Again, it happens the second Sunday of every month at 7 p.m. Eastern. Several crafters come together from all over and they create some really cool things. A big thank you to the hosts, Kathy from Kathy Joe DIY and Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIY. And this month's guest host is Melissa from Crumbs. Now, if you already haven't checked out their channels, they're extremely talented, and I've made it easy for you because I put their channel links below in my description box, as well as the playlist link, which will have all of today's Talented Crafters videos for some great inspiration. And here's the second piece, and our challenge item is tumbling tower blocks, also known as Jenga blocks, and you can get those from the Dollar Tree and the wood glue as well. So I'm going to make a dock here, and I take 14 of these blocks on both sides, so a total of 28 blocks. So 14 I glued together, and this was pretty messy. As you can see, I have glue all over my hands. I couldn't even think of a better way to do it. I thought, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to get all full of glue. So I glued all these together, and then now I'm going to glue the two sides together. And I did this pretty quickly because this wood glue sets up pretty quickly. But I was able to still go in and manipulate these pieces. They're not perfect. Docks are not perfect anyway. You know, old wood ones are not. And I thought it just added to the charm of it. But it was kind of hard because I had glue on my hands, and I kept, every time I would touch a wood piece, it would stick on my fingers. That was my challenge with this. But it worked out well. Now I'm making the boat, and this is just the bottom of the boat. So I have 3 going up and down, and then 2 going across, and then 3 going up and down, as you can see here. And then there's 3 on each side, and I'm gluing all those together as well. And the reason I'm doing it this way is this is just the way that it would fit together, but it would also be pretty sturdy. And now I'm going to just glue them, and it was just kind of a cool design too. So I'm making like one long rectangle. And a big thank you and hugs to all of my subscribers. My channel continues to grow because of you. I appreciate all of your support, your awesome comments, your likes, and your shares as well. And a big thank you from the bottom of my heart to you. Also, a warm welcome if you're not a subscriber, and thank you for stopping by my channel, Homeridge Studio. If you like budget-friendly DIYs, thrift flips, designs, decorating, etc., etc., tap that subscribe button and the notification bell, and you will be notified every time I post a new video. And this really helps me out a ton. And thank you so much. Okay, so now I'm just gluing all the pieces back onto the boat. Now I'm making the second layer of the boat. And so as you can see, it's easier for you to watch this than for me to explain it, because you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to add, like, this is like the back of the boat, and this is kind of like the seat, or the floor. And this is just kind of like a raised seat. And I'm making that little square there in the boat, and I'm going to build it up ever so slightly. And now I glue 2 together, and that's going to go on the sides. So 2 are in the middle, 2 are on the sides. So like I said, I'm building it up a little bit here. And I have it on wax paper too, so when it dries, it won't stick to anything else other than the wax paper, and that's really easy to pull off of it. So now I have the sides, or the walls here. And then I'm going to put 1 in the back, or actually 1 in the front. And I'm going to build the middle up again, and you'll see in a second how I do this. This is looking kind of hard for me to explain. And then this is just the top of the boat, maybe like the antenna or the radar, I don't know. And now I have some triangles in the front for the front, and I glued those together. And then the little back, that's maybe the engine compartment. And then I'm going to let that sit and dry. And then I'm going to glue the top pointed part later on. I'll hot glue that. Okay, so now we're going to finish the deck, and I'm just counting to try to figure out where the middle is. And then I counted, and then I forgot. So you'll see me counting here again in a second. I don't know about myself sometimes. But anyway, I just put 1 Jenga block in the middle, and then 1 kind of at both ends. And this kept falling off. And so I ended up using hot glue. I did wood glue and then hot glue too. So it was just hard to get them to stick. And I did that on both sides. And I kept turning it over just to make sure that it was sturdy, that it was going to sit flat and not be tippy. Yeah, see, this just kept falling apart. I didn't have patience. I wasn't waiting for the glue to dry. Okay, and now I'm just gluing the front of the boat on. I just wanted to make sure that it dried and it was sturdy before I really touched it and moved it anywhere. So now I have this truffle chalk paint by Waverly, and mine is old and dried up. I have just a teeny bit left, so I dumped some of this glass here, and I just, I use my kitchen dishes all the time. I craft in my kitchen on my island. Yeah, so I have other things to use, to hold paint and this and that and the other, but no, I grab my dishes because that's where they are, right in front of me. But anyway, I put a very watery coat, almost like stained it with a truffle. And then now I have white, and it's just white chalk paint. I don't remember what it's called, like Adirondack or whatever. And I just painted the entire boat white. And now I'm taking that same chalk paint and I'm dry brushing it on the dock to make it look weathered. And I did it all over the dock, top and bottom and the sides. And now I have some paint. I believe this is from Michael. It's just acrylic paint, and it's called blue, or maybe bright blue, any kind of blue paint. If you make this, I just wanted to put a blue stripe on the side of the boat, just to give it some interest. And now we're going to make the gnomes. Big one and a small one. And I have these tubes. I don't know where I got them from. Some kind of wrap. Might have been plastic wrap or something. But I saved different things like this, unique pieces. And I have that cork is from a champagne bottle from New Year's Eve. I saved that too. I have some fake fur, and when you do cut this out, you want to cut the back of it and just the top layer. You don't want to cut through the fur. And I make a lot of gnomes, and if you guys like gnomes, check out my channel. I have a ton of gnome videos for the last 3 years. I've been making them. Anyway, so I have this these tubes that I cut down a couple of inches, maybe 2 to 3 inches, 2.5 inches. I have this material from the Dollar Tree. I liked it because it looked kind of like flannel. I don't know. It's not flannel, but it looks like it's flannel. And now I'm just going to take and glue it around both of these tubes. So I just put glue on it, set it down, and rolled it up, and then glued it. And I did that to both pieces. And now I'm gluing the excess. I'm going to put glue inside there and just push it down so it's glued inside. And then I'm just going to pop that cork, glue that in there. And that's kind of for its head. You're not going to see it. It's just something for the hat to sit on. And I just took a bead for the smaller one because that fit right on top there, and I glued it. And I also glued the excess material down underneath also, inside the tube. And now I'm just going to put the beard on this guy here. And yeah, I try to save my scraps, especially in fake fur. This is a little pricey, and you know, I'm always making gnomes or something with it, big ones, little ones. So yeah, that came in handy. And now I'm just going to cut another beard out for this guy here. And as you can see, I'm just skimming the top of it, not to cut all the way through. Except for that was the top. You're not even going to see that because the hat will be down. But yeah, it'll make one straight line, and you don't want to cut all that fur off. You want it kind of hanging down. And so now I'm just going to make the hat. I'm just rolling the gnome around to see how much material I need, and I just kind of guessed at how long I was going to make it. And I did it to both. Now I'm going to cut off a little piece of material. I'm going to make the arms, and they're just going to be one long piece, not two different pieces like I usually make them. And I just kept folding it down to the center. So you take the top, fold it to the center, the bottom, fold it up to the center, and I just kept doing that and kind of rolled it, and then put a little glob of hot glue in there to hold it. And I did that for both of them, the small one and the big one. I just made, obviously, the small one just slightly smaller. And now we're making the hat. So I just took a square, I folded the bottom up, and then I twisted it around the gnome's head, and then I just glued it. Did not glue it to the gnome, just to the itself. And then when it dried, I turned it inside out, and then I rolled the edges up on the inside. There is going to be a seam in the back, and I did it for both. And so I just took it and I pulled it down in the back as far down as I could. And I have these little teeny beads, and I'm just putting the glue on the hole in the bead and putting the hole up under the nose. And then now I'm just going to glue the hat on. And I'm going to put the arms right there, and then you can take the hat and put it down up under the arms, or you can kind of smush them together so it's the same kind of material, so it looks like it's meant to be that way. And so yeah, I just bent them in half and glued it on the back. And now these beads I'm pushing in sideways so you can't see that hole. It just takes a second here because the hot glue is hot and I didn't want to burn my hand, as I so often do. I swear every single time I craft, I burn my hand. Not bad, but just like an out, that hurt. Does that happen to you? Do you burn your hands, or is it just me? Because I don't know. Sometimes I think I just go so fast I get carried away, and sometimes I like even have grabbed my glue gun by the tip before. That was a bad burn. That was a couple years ago. That did some damage. So anyway, back to the gnomes here. I am just doing the same thing to the little baby gnome as I did to the bigger one. Same thing with the hat and the arms. And the difference here, I put beads on the arms on the little gnome first before I glued it on. So that was a little bit easier than gluing the arms on and then putting the little beads on after. And then just popped his nose on there and glued it. And yeah, there you have it. 2 cute, sweet little gnomes. Now I'm taking these flip-flops. They're from the Dollar Tree. They were in a pack. I'm going to glue them on backwards, so you won't see the back, and because the front I think was too big, the feet would have been too big on the gnome. And now I'm just taking some jute and I'm wrapping it around the dock and tying it off on the ends and just hot glued it down. Now I have a skewer and I'm cutting them down to, I don't know, about 3 inches long, maybe a little bit longer. Just these are going to be fishing poles. I had fishing line to tie to the end of this, but you couldn't see it, so I used twine because I just really wanted you to see it. So I just tied it and glued it. And then I took a little teeny bead and I put it on the end for the bobber, and then I glued the fishing pole onto the gnome. And I did that on the little guy too. And this is what it looks like. I just put blue construction paper underneath for presentation. And I think this turned out so sweet. Let me know what you think about this. And here is my third and final piece, and the challenge piece here was a pair of flip-flops, or is a pair of flip-flops, I should say. So I got these from the Dollar Tree. They're size kids small, 11 to 12. I have a couple flowers, the same flowers I used on my earlier piece. I have some craft sticks, the jumbo ones, and then I have these 2 pieces from the Dollar Tree. Now, I glued these on the wrong side, and it took a long time. I had to remove them and then turn it back over. So see, I have all glue on here, and I had to take my blow dryer and Goo Gone and my sander and get rid of all of it. So that was kind of a mess. I wasn't paying attention. But I have this chalk paint, and it is in the color of cashew. And then I have this spray paint. It's tempera paint from the Dollar Tree I got a couple years ago. I wanted this cashew to be a little bit more yellow, and I wanted to use not acrylic, I wanted to use chalk paint. So I painted the top with that, and then I painted, 3/4 of it with that. And then I painted the bottom with Waverly chalk paint in the color blue, not blue, pool. And then I printed a bunch of words off from my Cricut. And here you can see me, like this is, I'm crafting in a skirt, a tank top. It's really hot here in Michigan. And bare feet, that's how I craft. And sometimes I craft like that in the winter too. It's just, I don't know, comfy for me. Anyway, so I put all those words, and you'll see them in a second, on my sign. And then I took 3 of these pieces. This thicker twine is from, is from Walmart, yeah. And then I have the thinner stuff, which is from the Dollar Tree. I use them both, and I'm just braiding them. So I braided 4 of these. So you just tape it down, braid it, and then tape it down, and now it's really easy to tie it off. I double tied it at both ends, and I put a little dollop of hot glue there to hold it. And then I just clipped off the end pieces there that are sticking out. So I have 4 of them. And now I'm just going to remove this piece from the flip-flop, all of it, on both of them. And now I have this little tool from the Dollar Tree, just because that's what I had, and I'm taking and pushing it, and this took a while to do because it was thick. I'm pushing it through the hole in the top of the flip-flop, so 2 of them go through there. And now I'm going to do 1 on each side. And this did take a while, so if you use the thinner twine, it won't take as long, or you can make the hole bigger. But yeah, I did that on both of them. And now I have this Deco Art paint, and it's called Red Spice, and then I have Mod Podge, and I also have cinnamon, and I'm mixing these together. I wanted to give it some texture, and because these boards, and I couldn't hide the middle of the sign that they were, joined together, I thought, you know what, I'm going to make it look like it's rusty. So that's what I'm doing here. And so the sign says, attention, you are now entering a flip-flop zone, proper footwear required. So I printed all of that off on my Cricut. Everything was in black except the middle part. You're now entering you are now entering A. I printed that in gray, just Cricut vinyl. And now I'm just taking that dabbing it around still, and then I went around the edge with antique wax all around the whole entire edge, and now I have chalk paint in the color black ink, and I'm just dabbing just a teeny tiny bit of that here and there, not in the center, really just kind of on the sides, because signs usually rust out around the edges. And then the Mod Podge is still wet, so I'm putting more cinnamon on that. And then now for the fun part, the easy part, gluing the flip-flops on there. And I'm just going to put like a little flower, like, I don't know, I like these flip-flops. I might want a pair, although probably the jute wouldn't be real comfy on the top of your feet, but I think they're so cute. And then I just glued some shells on the bottom, and those are from the Dollar Tree also. Now you can cover the back with craft paper, and you get that in a roll from the Dollar Tree. I'm just putting a hanger here, and then some gluing it with hot glue, and then some masking tape. And then you could cover it with craft paper. And that's it, and this is what it looks like, my final piece. So let me know, which one do you like the best? It was a challenge, but these are always challenges, but I don't know. I might like this one the best. I asked my husband, I always ask him like he really cares, but I force him, which one do you like the best? And he said this one. And he thought it kind of looked like rust too. I don't know. I try different techniques all the time, and this was even just a different technique. So thank you for spending time with me today. I hope that I have inspired you. Don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel and all that good stuff. And don't forget to check out that playlist. And I will be back very, very soon. You have a beautiful day. Bye.